Is it a bird? Is it a plane? It's Superman! Welcome to Below the Line, the show about how movies are made. Yes, it is July 10th, or technically 11th, today in a special episode premiering early the release weekend of Superman. I'm Andres Ramirez, and I'm here with my super co host, Mr. Zach Houston Scott. How are you, man?
Doing pretty good. Doing pretty good. I actually have my Superman shirt on for this review, if you can believe it.
I would believe it. So yeah, it's the Superman weekend, James Gunn's weekend, I guess, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, the weekend that we are now in a new DC universe. We are no longer dealing with the remnants of an old series that no longer exists. We are now in the full swing of just brand new dawn, or, you know, it begins, like the tagline says, where we have the original superhero from DC taking off. So, yeah, pretty excited to talk about this one.
Well, he's not technically the first project, but I know what you mean. Creature
Yeah,
Commandos is the first project.
yeah, and that
And
was pretty good.
if you're asking what is Creature Commandos, I guess it's an animated show on Crave and HBO Max.
Hmm. Yeah, I
So
guess you can
yeah,
count that, but I mean, honestly, people did watch it. I'm not gonna lie, but this is like the first feature that's gonna get people turning their heads. And I mean,
to the
DC Studios.
DCEU.
Yeah, and I mean, DC Studios has also been producing stuff. Like they took ownership of the Christopher Reeve documentary that came out last year. They produced The Penguin, and they also produced Teen Titans Go and Harley Quinn. So yeah,
And Joker too.
yeah, we don't talk about that one. I think that was like the least they had involvement with. Like nothing from James Gunn came from that movie in terms of promotion. They just kind of left it to their
Let
own
it be.
devices.
Well, the first movie made $1 billion, so I guess they had the luxury of doing that, I suppose.
Yeah, for what it's worth, I didn't mind that movie up until the third act. Like once the final courtroom dance scene happens, the movie just falls apart fast. So
Yeah, I mean, I can see it. Yeah, I
yeah,
can see it. But it is Superman weekend, not Batman or Joker weekend.
no,
So,
let's talk Superman.
where do you want to start?
Well, let's first start with what do you think of the other Superman movies? Going into this, I did rewatch all the standalone movies that star Superman. I did not watch the team up movies. So I didn't rewatch Batman v Superman. I didn't rewatch Justice League. I didn't rewatch movies where he had like a small role or cameo like Black Adam or Shazam. So yeah, getting up to this just to get me ready and refamiliarize with myself. So I just wanted to quickly touch base with all the past standalone movies before we dive into this
Mm-hmm.
one, because it's been 12 years since we've had just Superman by himself. But not to go into spoilers, it kind of doesn't feel like it was very standalone since it was still setting up. But yeah,
Which one? This one or
this
or
one,
uh,
the
a
2025.
2025 Superman?
Yeah. But no, I guess I'll start really. One of them I got to see for the first time in its extended form was the 1978 Christopher Reeve Superman movie.
Did you believe he can fly? That is a question, I suppose.
I mean, not on my 4K TV because technology has advanced. But at the time, if I had an old CRT, I would have. No, it definitely still holds up. I know a lot of people still say it's the best Superman movie. Like, just the impact it had not only on really the genre itself, but just filmmaking in general. Like, you had big name actors at the time, like Marlon Brando and Gene
Yeah,
Hackman.
he was a dad.
Yeah, he was. Literally, the special effects were groundbreaking for the time. Won an Oscar, and just no, like Christopher Reeve was born to be that character. Like, no matter who comes, the shoes are going to be hard to fill with whoever can match that iconic role because, man, he just exemplifies. Even watching that documentary and just seeing the little details and nuances he put into that performance, just wonderful, wonderful stuff.
No, I agree. I think in many ways that 1978 cursed the Superman franchise for cinema as a whole. I mean, something that we'll talk more about it, but something that I did notice regarding uh, this Superman film was how it couldn't get away from the leitmotif that John Williams introduced with the Superman March, right? So in many ways,
Absolutely.
it created the perfect persona of Superman in Christopher Reeve, and also the sound of Superman. Like, this is getting ahead, but comparing the two scores, like while the technology might not hold on, John Williams' music really elevates the film and makes you believe he can fly. As Steven Spielberg famously once said, his music makes you believe that's true. So I think that film can put a very difficult line for even filmmakers like Richard Donner to come back and work within the same franchise.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. I agree with you. It's just something about like the impact. Like even there are elements that are dated. It is pretty slow paced at times just because of the era it was in, but it's still almost a 5 out of 5 movie because of just what it did for this character. Like I'd rank it as one of the best adaptations. You want to take a look at who Superman is, just watch this movie because it really is a period of the time where this character was like almost 40 years later, and here we are.
Yeah, I think it's comparable to the first Spider-Man movie. Not
Yeah,
the first one, but the Sam Raimi one.
definitely,
But
definitely.
unlike that, Spider-Man hasn't had that same trouble of being adapted and reimagined or whatever.
Because Spider-Man's got a little bit more flexibility than Superman, and I think it's what owes it to that is that you can have like different versions of Spider-Man, you can have different versions of Superman, but I mean, Superman's thing is you gotta stay consistent with the original ideas that come from it. Like you can change pathos of him, but you can't necessarily change who he is. So
Well, truth and justice in the American way.
I don't think they
Well,
say that in the comics anymore. I think it's a better tomorrow, they say.
I don't even know what that means because his whole thing is hope. And the first Superman, it was hope. That was the whole thing about the movie.
Yeah, definitely.
So
And then, I mean, he followed up because they were filming at the same time, really, Superman 2. And no, it's really almost cut from the same cloth. The Donner cut is, here's,
2006.
yes, from 2006. No, in all seriousness, the 1980 version of the film by Richard Lester still does a great job in showing how good Christopher Reeve is. It expands the plot more, it carries over the themes and the characters that were in the last one. It is, in my opinion, a little bit more fun because it just has more action and the pacing stronger and it just has more interesting ideas, even though there definitely you could tell was a changing of the guard at some point at production. I know people like to talk about the Snyder cut with Justice League, but no, this was like the original Snyder cut. It was just totally a different movie.
Yeah.
Same baseline, but just different performances, different shots, different way it was. Literally look up on YouTube side by side comparisons of the two, and you'll see how much a director can impact a movie from that.
Yeah, yeah, I believe you.
Yeah, but no, I think Superman 1 and 2 are fantastic movies. Like, if you haven't seen them, go check them out because by the time Superman 3 rolls around, it already started to
It
creep in
starts to
that,
plummet.
yeah, with camp territory of Richard Pryor and just missing a lot of the elements that made it work. Admittedly, there are a few things like I like Reeves' performance again. I think he's honestly the thing that kept that series going for as long as it did. Him playing as a darker Superman was really awesome. They introduced like Lana Lane, who I think is a better love interest than Lois Lane in that series. Um, I do like the effects. I think they did put a lot of money in. Like they were clearly getting better and better with each movie. It's just you have to put Richard Pryor in, and he's not great, and it's unfunny comedy that now Richard Lester has full command over because that was just kind of what he did. Like you look at his filmography, he did Three Musketeers and a couple Beatles movies from the 60s. So,
So
yeah,
funny.
it is really funny.
Do you
Um,
want to count Superman 4?
Might as well. Honestly, I feel bad because Reeve was costed back in to have full control of the script, and the production company that got the rights to it just did not have the money to produce the film that it could have. Like when your effects look even worse than a film from the 70s and you're at the tail end of,
Yeah.
that's normally not a good sign. And I mean, just even if it was like the biggest budget movie of all time, I don't think it could have been salvaged because it is very much of the time, even more than the first three, because of talks of nuclear war and Superman trying to fight against, no, basically find world peace and basically be, the person that is going to do it, but it gets bogged down by Nuclear Man and all these subplots. And I don't know, just
Yeah.
not my thing. And
Yeah.
then there were no Superman movies for a while. We had to deal with,
Throughout the 90s.
yeah, in the 90s, there was nothing. We had some attempts by Tim Burton to try and make it into uh,
Nicolas Cage.
Nicolas Cage movie. That eventually did happen in The Flash. Um,
Did
didn't
it?
read,
It was more like a CGI creation. So I don't know. Maybe that's why the actors strike. They saw that sequence and they were like, "We need to strike now," because yeah, that was before the strike, right?
yeah, that was.
Yeah. I mean, it would have been fun if Tim Burton was the mastermind behind the DCEU, but I don't know
Did both
what
Batman and Superman. Oh yeah.
what could have been.
I mean, there's a great documentary on that. The uh, Death of Superman Lives What Happens. You should check out because they have like interviews with Burton and Cage and John Peters, the producer who wanted all these changes, and a lot of them got worked into his Wild Wild West film in '98. So it's crazy. But then we got.
Here's also
Mhm.
produced the Brian Singer one, right?
Yes, he did. Superman Returns. Yeah, the Forgotten one. I actually forgot a lot what happens in this movie. It was like 2.5 hours of just slow moving scenes with the occasional thing happening. And I mean, I get it. They wanted to make a legacy sequel to Superman 1 and 2, kind of ignore the events of 3 and 4. I give them credit. That's not bad, but everyone just kind of moved on from that style. And
I mean, I think what's his name, Brandon Ruth. He
yeah.
plays Superman well. He's
Mhm.
trying his best to do the job, and the only sequence I remember from that one is the plane sequence where he saves people in a plane that it's falling.
I remember the eye shot when he gets shot in the eye and it bounces off his cornea. That was cool.
And I know he's canceled, and we don't talk about Kevin Spacey, but his Lex Luthor was kind of nice, and to be fair, he kind of fits that casting, I suppose.
Oh, definitely. Like this is how I imagine Luther sounds next to the animated series. Like he did a fantastic job, and I really do hope that we kind of get a Lex Luthor of that caliber again. Again, not going into spoilers, but no, Returns is gone, and then finally we had Man of Steel, which has its fans. I was one of them. It came out when I was a teenager, and I went to go see it opening night. And
2013.
yeah, 2013. I was 16 when that movie came out.
You were a Snyder bro or not?
No, I was more into Nolan. I was excited because I was like, oh, Christopher Nolan's gonna do
He's
Superman.
producing it.
Yeah, he was producing it. He did the
I
story.
mean,
Zack Snyder was gonna direct it. Like, oh, it's so cool.
I think he was contractually obligated because I think Warner's plan was to tie it to his Batman series, but they never could.
Yeah.
Like it was clearly meant to be in the same universe, but they never could do it. Like because they still wanted to have that tone. Like I don't think Ben Affleck was supposed to be the Batman of that Superman when they started it. Like when they pitched Man of Steel.
Hmm.
I do think it has some good elements. I think Henry Cavill is a very good casting, but I think he didn't have the material to work, nor the charm of Superman to work with.
Which
Um,
I blame direction because you see him in other movies, like even Black Adam. The moment he's on screen at the end is pretty great and on
he
point, but
shines.
he does shine. And really, it's just a product of the time, like that mid 2010 kind of dark style that was popular and slowly dying out. And Marvel was really ramping up with like the um, Avengers series, and really they had to catch up. And we know what that led to. And I mean, there are elements I still like about it, but definitely all I can say, I don't love it as much as I did back when I was younger. So.
I think it's a film that should be respected. I think while people give a lot of, you know, trash talk or shit to Snyder, I think he tried to make a film that says something about you know, as humans, we tend to put hope or faith in individuals that might be perceived as God. So I think what he was trying to say was interesting. I just think the approach he took at telling that story needed more subsequent sequels or more groundwork, if you
Yeah.
know what I mean.
No, I get you. I get you. And now it
Like,
brings us. Oh, yeah.
and I think before we move on, I know I always say it. Superman and Lois, not a movie, but oh, why
TV
am I
show.
blank? Yeah, it's a TV show, CW, the best CW show in my opinion, the best DC show in my opinion, and Tyler Hoechlin, in my opinion, he's been the best Superman since I've been alive. So, just a shout out to a lot of Vancouver people made that show from love and passion, and I think it deserves to be named alongside the big Superman adaptations because they actually adapted the death of Superman better than Snyder had with like a quarter of the budget.
I agree with that. No, Superman and Lois is
Just saying.
fantastic. And honestly, if you can get through the cheesiness, watch Smallville. I think Tom Welling deserves his spot too because he was the Superman for a decade, like 2000s to the end.
Well, in the 90s, right?
Well, 90, yeah,
Smallville
Smallville was
started
the
in the 90s.
2000s. No, if you want
Yeah.
90s, you're looking at the New Adventures of Superman with Dean Cain, who is the worst Superman in his
he's
comments online.
he's the one that said that this is super woke, right? The new Superman.
Yeah,
Oh, well, he didn't say that, but he said something along those lines.
he just feels like Gunn didn't get the character. But let's talk about our interpretations of it because I'm excited to chat with this about you.
Well, you said you had a lot to talk. Do you want me to say my thoughts first, or do you want to go?
No, you go first. I'm curious to hear what you have to say.
So, it's a hard movie for me to review because I genuinely had a lot of fun, but I do think it's a reaction of the Snyderverse criticism. Like, sometimes I feel it wants to give like a punch, but it can't because it needs to tell a joke. Like, yeah, I don't want to go into specifics, but I think sometimes it wants to be dramatic, it wants to be serious, it wants to ask the questions that Snyder was asking himself, and it can't. And I think like the social political aspect of it, it's very on the nose. And I think like that's also interesting, but at the same time, they don't really explore what Superman means to the world outside of that conflict entirely. Like, I wish they had sequences like in Superman and Lois, where he goes say people in Mexico, in China, and you really get to see how people perceive him. It was funny because at the first act they did like a Spider-Man thing where people help him get up, and I was like, I don't know if this is earned. And I don't know. I have faith in James Gunn, but I'm not sure if this is the Iron Man his DC universe needed.
Well, that's the thing. This is an Iron Man because ideally, to his credit, he gets that everyone knows this origin. Everybody knows the origin of Superman, they know the origin of Batman, and they know the origin of
Of
Spider
course.
Man because they've been told so many times and adapted so much that literally. it's common knowledge to the common folk. Like if I was going into this blind, I still would like to know about this character. And I would just pick up the comic or look it up online because ideally this is the story of Moses. And no, to your point, I get what you're saying because it is a very reactionary movie, but in the sense, I think the theming really works because I think it's definitely of the time in the best possible way. The way I can describe it is, to me, this movie. You know how conservatives were raving about Sound of Freedom, that Jim
Hmm.
Cassavelli movie, a couple of weeks,
Yeah,
and they
yeah.
just like, and I really like that movie too because I don't
I
know, that's
mean,
a conservative movie done right.
I don't think that's a conservative movie. It's about the illegal trafficking of children. I think that's a movie that everybody should see as hard as it is for people to see it.
Oh,
It's a very
definitely.
difficult movie to see
But
because
you
of
know
the
how,
implications.
liberal critics were ripping it apart because
Yeah,
of
yeah, yeah.
just everything.
Because it was
This
QAnon.
Yeah, this one is like the best kind of liberal movie to come out. Like very much fun, does have that sense of, oh, this is what's currently happening in the world, but doesn't
Of
delve much
course.
further into it. It's kind of like, no, this is happening right now. You're the one that's going to have to solve it. And then that is reflected in the characterization. The Superman from 1978 could not exist in the same world the 2025 one does.
Oh, no,
And
no.
there is a choice in this movie. I think you know what I'm thinking about because I don't want to give it away since it just opened. That they do take, and it is different from the comics or different interpretations of Superman. That's actually kind of similar to what happened in the Batman, really. I kind of like it
Mm.
in a sense because it shows where you come from doesn't necessarily mean that that's what you're meant to be. It's where you grow, like in the environment that you're given in.
Well, it also, I know what you're talking. I think it also highlights his comments about this is an immigrant story and what happens when people are shown human kindness.
Yeah.
If you centralize the thesis of the film, forget about the immigrant part, but this is about what happens when you show people human kindness. I think at its core, that is the thesis of the film.
I agree. It's a very wholesome movie. It's very much like, hey, show a little kindness, and in that moment, or it'll eventually spread. It'll be something more positive compared to what came before it. Um,
Yeah,
I
because I don't. Sorry, go, go, go.
No, I was gonna say, and it does work very well. There's a lot of good monologues in this movie too that exemplify and double down on it, but they kind of need to be heard if that makes sense. They're very much like, yeah, since to some people they're not gonna get the underlying themes because they need to hear it rather than just keep it quiet. So
Yes, to their credit, there's a lot of monologues, but I think sometimes they're undermined by James Gunn's comedy style.
which, which is valid.
Like, I think there's one in the third act, and the two characters are about to have conflict, and it's about to be an acting dispute. And then a character just flies in. It becomes like a comedy show. Well, not a comedy show, but either people started clapping or people started laughing about the irony of the situation. I think you
Yeah,
know what scene I'm talking about. But I mean, I did not mind it. I think his speech about what makes us humans at the end, I don't know if that's a spoiler because
not
every
really.
character
No,
has like a monologue, especially Superman, is what makes it compelling. Although, yeah, I think I was not referring in the sense that they had to establish his origin, but for example, Lex Luthor seemingly hates him in the film.
no. But he
And
gives a
they don't.
monologue why he hates him though.
Yes, but I don't really understand. Like, I didn't bought the motivation. He just hates him because he's better and he has more attention.
But to that credit, there are a lot of people like that, and they exist in real life now, especially on the internet. Like they're just jealous, and they'll do whatever it takes to bring him down, like him
I mean,
rallying up.
and I think that was James Gunn saying something about his cancellation a little bit with the social media aspect of the film.
Definitely, definitely.
Like, I could feel that was personal to him.
100%. No, this does feel like a personal film. And I mean, I'm not going to say like this is the definitive take on the character. No, definitely not, but it is a good take on the character that I can see, sticking around for a long time. The actor who plays Superman, David Cornsworth, yeah, I like him. I think he's very charming. He's very much a person that can eventually lead a team if this is going to be the start of that. He has great
Well, they're
chemistry
setting
with
it
it.
up
Oh yeah, with the Justice Gang
because,
being in it.
well, yes, but they show the whole of Justice.
Yeah, yeah.
Like the whole that's Super Comics book accurate.
Oh yeah, no,
Uh,
it's very accurate. But I'm just saying that it's going to lead into the actual Justice League because we have this is the Justice Gang. Like the Green Lantern isn't the Green Lantern that we're familiar with. Shout out to Nathan Fillion, man. He was awesome in
Nathan
this.
Drake.
Nathan Drake back
Yep.
for more.
I mean, I think I don't really know what he's going to do with the Justice League. He needs to find his Batman first, and whether decide if that's Robert Pattinson or not.
Who knows?
Because I mean, they could still connect them. They could still. They
there's
don't
still
hint
time.
at. They don't hint, and I think they set up some with Superman canon some interesting potential, maybe Bizarro, if you know what I mean.
Oh yes, no. Again, it was yeah. As much as we give flack for Lex Luthor always being the main villain in these movies, it is his arch nemesis, and they do have better chemistry. Like these two, especially compared to like the last couple movies, like they have more scenes together, and you can tell the hatred they have for one another, and especially
Well,
just
I don't,
in the
I don't
moment.
think Superman hates him. I think he, I mean, at some point of the film, he even teases him. I think Lex Luthor is obsessed with Superman in this film,
So
like stalking him, obsessed.
yeah, because he just wants to be better than him.
Yeah,
I
but
thought
but
Hulk.
again, I wish there was a motivation behind it. Like I want to say something really dumb, but I don't know. Maybe he had like a personal encounter with Superman and he couldn't save someone or something like that, or like I don't know. I wish it was more personal. Rather, I'm not the smartest guy in the room because like Superman doesn't care about that, and even says that like Superman doesn't take selfies when Lois is interviewing him from that scene in the trailer.
Yeah, that's the great thing of it all is literally that he's just yeah, basically being a hater, and he just wants to be the best because he likes power and he hates seeing someone else with power just be good and wants to show off, be like, I was right, I was right.
I think it is a good start to the DCU. However, I do think that they need to they need to allow him to be super. In this film, he gets beat a lot, and I
Yeah,
never felt that he was super. And maybe this is one minor issue, but I love music. The score never bombasted out of the screen. It was always a tease like score from the trailers. I wish the score really bombasted. Like I'm not saying they should use John Williams music, but they kind of used it, but they only teased it, if you know what I mean.
no,
And
I
I think
do.
the score was pretty forgettable.
I mean, I'm just gonna be humming it. I mean, I do wish they kind of took more of the Batman approach and just create a new theme in general. But I mean, I didn't mind it, and I mean, I did to the point of like I'd rather see him be a Superman. I kind of view this the same way of the Robert Pattinson Batman too, where it's a younger guy and he's not really finessed yet. He's still making mistakes, and yeah, he's going to eventually become the Superman. Like even the Tom Holland Spider Man, we kind of are still
That
waiting
is
to see
true.
he's Spider
And
Man.
to be fair, with one of the characters, I get why he had a hard time beating him. But with the rest of the characters, he should have beaten them easily. That said, his humanity always is trying to not harm people. Even when they have to fight that big kaiju or monster, he's trying to not hurt the bad thing or whatever.
Yeah, he wants to take care of it. This is a guy who literally, this will be the one spoiler I'll say, he'll save a squirrel. Like, this is the kind of guy that will go out and save a squirrel from harm's way.
Yeah, I mean, did it make you believe he can fly or not?
He and his doggo did, yes. And I'm
Oh,
excited to
crypto.
see what comes. Crypto. I can imagine him
Well,
selling merchandise.
the next one is, well, he didn't felt as merchandise as like Dolores from Jurassic Park or
No, no, no.
Jurassic World.
That's Baby Joey, who's the more marketable one. Again, I keep reiterating this every week. Why do we have so many babies every film? This,
Oh, the baby, yeah, the alien.
yeah, the
See,
great.
that's another plot line where he shows kindness, and the other person that helps him with kindness, and then he gets rewarded and has meaning all of the sudden. If you know what I mean with how it ends the film.
Oh, definitely. It's basically kindness rewards people who do good things, and it
Yeah.
shows. And that's
What
kind of what
about
we need right now.
Rachel Brosnan as Lois Lane? Did you like her?
She's actually my favorite Lois Lane I've ever seen on screen.
She's really good.
I think
She's
she's
really
the
good.
best cast in this whole thing because, yeah, I just saw Lois Lane from the comics, probably best since the animated series, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, yeah, and Mr. Terrific was also very good.
Yeah, he was cool. I'd like to see more of him because I haven't even seen him really much in brought to
Other
life on
media,
screen.
yeah. Like I think he was like Jandu. His powers were very similar to Jandu,
Yeah, and his redemption.
especially in that scene where he does the thing, like the way the camera moved and the way his T spheres moved. They also had like a red line. It was pretty much the same VFX as Jandu
Yeah,
from Guardians. Maybe it was me looking into it, but I don't know.
it was still cool. No, yeah, I thought the cast was terrific. Nicholas Holt, I'd like to see more of. Honestly, I think his voice was pretty sniveling and kind of fun to listen to.
Yeah, I think he took the nerdiness of J.C. Eisenberg's Lex Luthor because I think he was nerdy in that aspect,
Oh yeah,
but
100%.
maybe he took the wrath of Kevin Spacey and like some of the original 1978 one. So I think he combined a little bit of all the Lex Luthors and made it his own. Because he was also kind of quirky, like that scene where he just keeps throwing the pencils just to prove that he's mad or something. Like I sort of feel that's something that Jesse Eisenberg's Lex Luthor would do, but he would do it in like a more freaky way, I guess,
Yeah,
because
in a
he was
weird
more
way.
anxious.
Whereas this guy, he's a nerd, but he kind of owns it. No, I agree with you. This is the Jesse Eisenberg performance I wanted to see now reflected in this Superman.
I mean, in a weird way, he fights Batman as if he was gaming because he has like all his team has monitors and he's controlling the robot or whatever, and he's like L1, L2. So he's gaming. He's a nerd.
That's
He
funny.
he had like his biggest setup. I guess when you're that rich, you have so many monitors.
Yeah. I will say though, I don't know why they call it Luthor Corp. Because it's LexCorp usually in the comics and everything, and it just felt weird that it was all Luthor based.
Well,
I don't know.
see,
That was a pet
again,
peeve of
I
mine.
think that is the backstory that we didn't get to see because I think, well, they say it was all because of profit, right? That his reasons of being evil or whatever, but they really never explain his personal relationship with Superman. And
Mhm.
like, he doesn't seem to know who Superman is in real life, at least not yet. Although he claims to be so smart that he probably could have figured it out.
Yeah, I agree.
So I don't know. I think there's some backstory about Lex that hasn't been said.
Well, maybe it'll be developed more. We'll see. Because, no, I will say this. I very much enjoyed it. I would love to see it again. I am very excited for this universe. It got me so excited just to see what comes
What's
next.
next? Supergirl
Yeah, Supergirl's the next one.
with Millie Alcock.
Yeah.
I mean, Is it a spoiler or is it not a spoiler? Do you know what I'm thinking of?
Yeah, no, we'll just say it's going to be a different kind of movie, if you know. And I'm very much excited for it. I'm
I
so
mean,
happy
she's
it's not.
beautiful, so I think she'll look good. I mean, she's beautiful. She's a very beautiful looking actress, so I think she'll suit the role really well. And
Definitely.
especially because she's supposed to be more immature compared to Kal-El slash Superman slash Clark Kent.
Yeah. And I will say, like, it has no comparison to try and beat the original Supergirl movie from the 80s. Like, maybe the CW show, but I think it could
First
even beat
season,
that first season.
the first season. After, like, it was ABC and then it got dropped and then it was picked up by the CW.
Oh,
When it
NBC
got
and
picked
then
up by the
CW
C,
picked it up. Yeah.
yeah, it
And the
became
budget
not
dropped.
as good. Yeah. What I was gonna say is, yeah, enjoy it, people. It's a fun movie. I think maybe you agree with me or not, but this is the best superhero movie we had this whole year.
Absolutely. No, bar none. It's the first time I can say positive things. Like Thunderbolts, I really enjoyed still too, but it is an acquired taste. This is one that everyone can get on board with. I am curious to
Well,
see Fantastic Four's reception in a few weeks.
I, I don't know if everybody can because it's been divisive. So I don't know. Um,
Well,
it,
it depends, really. It's a lot of grifters. It's a lot of the Snyder Bros. It's a lot of people just saying it's not as good as they think it is because of what's being said. So,
what I will say is, I think for this film universe to have success, now that the film is established, and yes, it's clearly a reaction to the Snyderverse, I hope they explore that in the subsequent films. And who knows, they allow themselves to go to those darker routes that Snyder approach, but now they've done the groundwork. So
yeah,
maybe it'll feel less awkward. So I think they can still get some of the Snyder people. Now they've done the groundwork of establishing who this Superman is. So I don't think they should be discouraged of trying that. They should keep evolving, not keeping him as like super positive man, and let him feel the emotions, because at times this Superman, while being very positive, he was still very immature. Like there's a point where he knows how social media works, but he does a thing and I'm like, dude, you falling right to the trap. Like, and you don't even look smart doing it. And you probably know which scene I'm talking about. So,
I do.
but yeah, I was gonna ask you, do you want to do a special episode during the week, like a shorter version where we talk spoilers and give people a chance to see the film, and then they can interact with us on the spoiler talk?
That'd be cool. That'd be fun.
Okay. Well, this was a special episode after all. We're dropping Saturday, not on our usual Sunday, but we'll keep you guys posted with a Superman spoiler talk, I guess.
Definitely. And to sign us off, he's Andres Ramirez. You can
Wait,
follow. Oh, yeah.
wait. Before we go, on a scale of, in a rating scale of 1 out of 10, how much do you rate the film?
Oh, a nine. I was very happy with it. I'm excited to see where it goes.
You know, I'm not as high as a 9, but I was at 8. So I guess we both recommended. Curious, which format did you watch that?
VIP.
So that's like a regular screen, not IMAX, not Dolby.
Yeah,
Like
I'd
in
love to
terms
see
of the
it back on
projection.
IMAX, though. I'd love to see it
Me
back in
too.
IMAX.
Yeah, I enjoyed it in that screen. So it seems like it's a fun movie regardless which format you choose. So
Hmm.
now you can sign us in. Let's see if you draw a good Superman uh, line or something. No pressure.
Like me?
Yeah.
Well,
I started
faster,
with it's a plane, it's a bird, it's a plane, it's Superman. Maybe you can draw a line to end the sun.
I guess. Go up, up, and away to Instagram to follow us at Jaro2096 and these
There you
actors
go.
below the lines underscore 2025. And we will see you soon. Have a great rest of your day, evening, whenever you're watching this.
And enjoy your Superman weekend and stay
Yes.
in touch with us for our upcoming spoiler discussion. A special episode, by the way. Bye bye.
Bye.